This is a Compliance Standards podcast. For terms of use, please visit compliance-standards.com.
Hi, my name is Daoud, Principal Analyst at Compliance Standards, and welcome to this brief podcast that looks at smartphone data security and its implications on end of life. There is a growing concern in corporate circles that BYOD, or bring your own device, and the rise of consumer smartphones that access their networks could lead to new kinds of breaches on the data security front when they are ready to move into the recycling stream. These devices' contents and network access capabilities could indeed become a liability for the owners and their employers. Although so far the basic thinking among many has been that the owners of smartphones did not really care at all about security, these assumptions are being challenged by discussions with consumers that have been having, as well as a new set of surveys that demonstrate actually different perceptions and views. If the findings of a survey released recently by TrustE are an indicator of consumer perception on phone security, then I think we're actually in a pretty good shape in addressing some of the differences that exist between corporate data security policies and consumer willingness to abide by these policies. That also represents a great opportunity for the proponents of reuse and recycle and those who are engaged in the secondary market. The TrustE survey shows that mobile privacy, and by extension security, is a great concern to many users than other key features such as brand and key physical and technological attributes. Some 80% of the 700 surveyed individuals in the U.S. say that they generally stay away from applications or apps that are questionable and they don't trust. The idea of tracking is also cited as undesirable. Certainly plenty of findings, other types of findings that really lead us to believe that consumer interest in privacy and security remains or is very, very high. So what are some of the brief implications? And I'm going to cite three of them for three different stakeholders. For enterprise IT recycling managers, for those in charge of compliance within enterprises, for legal departments as well. The data is encouraging in many ways, but in a nutshell, it shows that your employees who are interested in BYOD will most likely be in favor of corporate policies that will secure the device upon reaching its end of life, and obviously prior to that. The debate on the assumed reluctance of employees to let organizations have greater access to their devices for final cleaning may actually be grossly exaggerated, and that means greater opportunity for a consensus to emerge instead. For ITAD companies that are in the business of recovering assets upon their end of life, data security may indeed be a must-have service on the smartphone side. Most ITAD companies I know today are not fully vested into smartphone end of life. The ones that I know to be involved in smartphone recycling are typical, what I would call tabletop-like operations, and that makes sort of the big corporations very nervous as to who they should hire to deal with smartphones and eventually tablets as well. So for large ITAD companies and companies that have the resources, you need to put greater emphasis and investments on smartphone recovery. Finally, for proponents of reuse and remarketing, generally the environmentalists, many consumers go the undesirable route of destroying their phones when we all know that there is a vibrant secondary market, something that is endorsed by environmentalists given the eco implications. If those devices are cleaned up properly, then the opportunity for remarketing and reuse becomes a closer reality, and we should all welcome that.
This was a Compliance Standard podcast. Thank you for listening.